Welcome back, truth seekers. Today I'm tearing down a sacred cow, Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, the man they call the architect of modern India. But let's be real. What if his obsession with caste didn't save India, but shattered it? What if his legacy isn't unity, but a nation fractured beyond repair? Buckle up, because I'm diving into how Ambedkar's caste fixation ruined India's chance at being one people, one nation. Ambedkar wasn't just a lawyer or a politician, he was a man possessed. Possessed by an idea: caste. Everywhere he looked, he saw oppression. And he decided the only way to fix it was to hammer it into India's soul. He didn't just want justice, he wanted revenge, and we're still paying the price. Look around you: caste wars, reservation riots, politicians milking vote banks like it's a family business. This isn't unity, this is a circus. And who set the stage? Ambedkar. His big idea? Let's carve India up into little boxes. Dalits here, OBCs there, upper castes over there, forget Indian. You're a caste first, a citizen second. He wrote the Constitution, sure, but what did he bake into it? Reservations, special quotas, a system that screams, you're not equal, and you never will be. Instead of lifting everyone up, he dragged us into a pit where merit's a joke and your birth certificate decides your fate. That's not a vision, that's a vendetta. Oh, but he's the hero, right? The savior of the downtrodden. Tell that to the millions of Indians who just wanted to move on from caste, not have it tattooed on their foreheads. Ambedkar didn't heal wounds, he poured salt in them. He turned neighbors into enemies, co-workers into rivals. Unity in diversity? More like division by design. Think about it. Before Ambedkar, caste was a problem, sure, but it wasn't the only thing we talked about. Post-Ambedkar, it's our identity, our politics, our everything. He didn't just fight caste, he made it immortal. Every election, every job application, every argument, it's caste. Thanks, Bhim Rao. And here's the kicker, he didn't even fix it for the people he claimed to champion. Dalits are still struggling, poverty, violence, discrimination. So what was the point? All that noise, all that division, and for what? A legacy of resentment where no one wins and everyone hates each other a little more. India could have been a nation of ideas, of progress, of shared dreams. Instead, Ambedkar gave us a nation of quotas, of grudges, of my caste versus yours. He didn't unite us, he balkanized us, and we're too scared to admit it because questioning the great man is blasphemy. So next time you hear Ambedkar's name praised to the skies, ask yourself, did he build India, or did he break it? Hit that like button if you're tired of the lies, smash subscribe for more hard truths, and drop a comment. Do you think his caste obsession went too far? Let's talk. Until next time, stay awake. Welcome back, truth seekers. To understand why Ambedkar became the polarizing figure he is today, we need to travel back to his early life. Born into a Dalit family in 1891, Bhim Rao Ambedkar's childhood was a crucible of discrimination. Imagine being a child shunned by society, barred from temples, and even denied water from public wells. This wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a daily assault on his dignity. Ambedkar's father was a subedar in the British Indian Army, which afforded him a somewhat better start than many Dalits. Yet, the stigma of untouchability was inescapable. Even in school, young Bhim was often forced to sit on a gunny sack, away from the upper caste students. These early experiences etched a deep sense of injustice into his soul. But Ambedkar was not one to be crushed by adversity. He excelled academically, earning scholarships that took him to Columbia University in New York and the London School of Economics. Imagine the culture shock, a boy from a village in Maharashtra, suddenly thrust into the intellectual heartlands of the West. It was here that Ambedkar's ideas began to crystallize. He saw societies that, while imperfect, offered a level of equality and opportunity unthinkable in India. Yet the West also had its own forms of discrimination. Racial segregation in America and class divisions in Britain showed Ambedkar that oppression wasn't exclusive to India. But unlike India, these societies were actively challenging their inequalities. Ambedkar returned to India with a mission: to dismantle the caste system that had oppressed his people for millennia. One of the key events that shaped his ideology was the Mahad Satyagraha in 1927. Ambedkar led thousands of Dalits to drink water from a public tank in Mahad, defying caste restrictions. This act was more than symbolic. It was a declaration that Dalits would no longer accept their subjugation. It was a moment of defiance, a spark that ignited a movement. Ambedkar's battles weren't just against societal norms, but also against institutional barriers. His relentless fight for the inclusion of Dalits in the political process led to the Pune Pact with Mahatma Gandhi in 1932. Though it granted reserved seats for Dalits in legislatures, it was a compromise that left Ambedkar dissatisfied. He wanted more than token representation. He wanted genuine equality. So what drove Ambedkar? Was it revenge, as some claim, or was it a quest for justice? Perhaps it was both. His experiences of systemic oppression forged a resolve that was uncompromising. He wasn't just fighting for Dalits, he was fighting against an entire system that dehumanized people based on their birth. Understanding Ambedkar's motivations and early life is crucial. It helps us see why he was so adamant about addressing caste in the Constitution. He wasn't just obsessed with caste, he was obsessed with eradicating the injustice it perpetuated. But did his methods go too far? Did his focus on caste deepen the very divisions he sought to eliminate? Hit that like button if you're intrigued by the complexities of Ambedkar's legacy, smash subscribe for more deep dives, and drop a comment. Do you think his early experiences justified his later actions? Let's talk. Until next time, stay awake. Welcome back, truth seekers. Now that we've delved into Ambedkar's formative years and his relentless fight for justice, it's time to explore the lasting impact of his policies on modern India. One of the most contentious aspects of Ambedkar's legacy is the system of reservations and quotas designed to uplift historically marginalized communities. But how have these policies evolved over the years? And what are the arguments for and against them? Ambedkar's vision for an equitable India was enshrined in the Constitution through provisions for reservations in education, employment, and political representation. These measures were intended to provide a level playing field for Dalits and other marginalized groups, giving them a fair shot at opportunities long denied. Fast forward to today, and the reservation system remains a hot-button issue. Proponents argue that reservations are still necessary to address deep-seated inequalities. They point out that despite economic growth, social mobility for marginalized communities remains limited. For them, reservations are a crucial tool for achieving social justice. However, critics argue that the reservation system has outlived its usefulness. They claim it fosters a culture of dependency and undermines meritocracy. Some even suggest that it has led to reverse discrimination, where individuals from non-reserved categories feel unfairly disadvantaged. The debate is far from settled. Over the decades, the scope of reservations has expanded to include other backward classes, OBCs, and economically weaker sections, EWS, further complicating the landscape. Each expansion has sparked its own set of controversies and court battles, reflecting the complex interplay of caste, class, and politics in India. One of the most significant milestones in this evolving narrative was the Mandal Commission report in the 1980s, which recommended reservations for OBCs. Its implementation led to widespread protests and a national debate on the efficacy and fairness of the reservation system. So where do we stand today? The reservation system continues to be a double-edged sword, an essential mechanism for some, a divisive policy for others. The challenge lies in balancing the need for social justice with the principles of equality and merit. As we ponder the legacy of Ambedkar's policies, it's crucial to ask ourselves, are reservations achieving their intended goals, or have they become a political tool manipulated for electoral gains? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think reservations are still necessary, or is it time for a new approach? Hit that like button if you appreciate nuanced discussions, subscribe for more deep dives, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay awake. Welcome back, truth seekers. We've journeyed through Ambedkar's life, his revolutionary ideas, and the contentious reservation policies he championed. But how is Ambedkar viewed in contemporary India? What ongoing debates surround his contributions and their effects on Indian society? Ambedkar's legacy, much like the man himself, is complex and multifaceted. For many, he is a beacon of hope and a symbol of resilience. His relentless fight for social justice and equality continues to inspire millions, especially among marginalized communities. Statues of Ambedkar stand tall across India, and his writings are studied in schools and universities, a testament to his enduring influence. However, Ambedkar's legacy is not without its detractors. Some argue that his policies have created new divisions within Indian society. They claim that the focus on caste-based reservations has overshadowed the need for broader economic reforms and inclusive growth. Critics contend that while Ambedkar's intentions were noble, the implementation of his policies has led to unforeseen consequences, including social unrest and political opportunism. In recent years, Ambedkar's vision has sparked renewed interest and debate. Movements advocating for social justice, such as the Dalit rights movement, often invoke his name and ideals. At the same time, there is a growing discourse on whether his vision needs to be reinterpreted for modern India. Can Ambedkar's principles be adapted to address contemporary issues like economic disparity, gender equality, and digital inclusion? One of the most poignant aspects of Ambedkar's legacy is the ongoing struggle for dignity and equality. Despite significant progress, caste-based discrimination still persists in various forms. Ambedkar's call for annihilating caste remains as relevant today as it was decades ago. His dream of a casteless society where individuals are judged by their abilities and character rather than their birth continues to be a guiding light for many. As we reflect on Ambedkar's impact, it's essential to recognize that his legacy is a living one, constantly evolving and adapting to the needs of the times. The debates about his contributions and their effects on Indian society are far from settled. They challenge us to think critically about the kind of society we aspire to build. So what do you think? Is Ambedkar's legacy a source of unity or division? How should his vision be adapted to address the challenges of the 21st century? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this discussion enlightening, hit that like button, subscribe for more thought-provoking content, and let's continue exploring the rich tapestry of history together. Until next time, stay awake.